On this demonstration on security fundamentals, I'm going to talk about the risk. The methodology and open source project of OWASP has something very valuable as a source: risk rating calculator and risk methodology. When it comes to this in hands-on project, you would learn how you would assess the risk using this OWASP risk rating methodology and the calculator as a tool itself that is provided freely to you. So you would apply this methodology to identify and prioritize security vulnerabilities in a system, in an environment, in a device, in a network infrastructure. This would improve your understanding towards risk management in a security. We're going to see how we would be able to use the risk within a security. First of all, we're going to visit this called OWASP Risk Rating Calculator. Is this one that you are seeing here. So this is that tool that is very useful, and I used a lot whenever I would do researches on vulnerabilities, exploits, and on the impact, and trying to navigate through the risk management. So this would be that tool that you would be able to use and familiarize yourself with this interface. So then you would use this calculator tool, which would allow you to input vulnerability details and calculate the risk score based on OWASP methodology. How we would do that? Let me just shortly explain. We have the likelihood factors and the impact factors. This would be the input that we would be giving, and the output would be down here that would be calculating based on the formula of the risk methodology of the OWASP. What would be the impact factor and overall risk for these findings? Let's assume that we found something from an Nmap and we wanted to assess from a risk perspective. What we would do, so a threat agent actor is one input that we would give all about the threat, all about the skill level. What would be this advanced computer user, that is kind of APTs, or what would be the motive? Motive would be high reward or a number that we would specify. We would just assuming based on what we know. And opportunity, this would be special access or required, or resource required, or no access at all. The size would be authenticator users, and then the threat agent factor would be calculated. And you see the whole calculation is going on whenever we select something. On a vulnerability factor would be all inputs about that vulnerability, easy of discovery. How easy is this identifying this particular vulnerability? For example, MySQL outdated version, that or operating system, difficult or easy or something in between. And then ease of exploit, how easy is to exploit? It's easy. Today, with the tools that we have, it's very easy. What kind of awareness do you need to have, knowledge and expertise to find this thing? Maybe public knowledge would be something towards that. Intrusion detection, so would be logged and reviewed, this intention. And here we would have a calculation all about the likelihood on the factor, which shows it's a medium. And then on a technical impact factor and business impact factor would be the other factor that we would be inputting. Whatever we input, loss of confidentiality, integrity, and availability, how much we're going to have loss. So it would be extensively critical data disclosed for us as a company, and then integrity and so on, and accountability. And that would just generate the impact factor. Let me just select something that we would have at the end. And then business impact factor from a business perspective. Financial damage, minor effect of annual profit, or something that could bankrupt us. Reputation damage, just minimal. Non-compliance, anything, minor violation, or privacy violation would be thousands of people would be impacted from this. And you see, the overall risk of this is medium. And this way we would prioritize the risk, threats, and potential cyber attacks that could hit us on this selected vulnerability that we assume would be outdated MySQL database version. On understanding the OWASP risk rating methodology, further you would have this resource that is called the OWASP Risk Assessment Framework, which would be some security testing application would consist of static and a lot of risk assessment tools and desk scanner tools and a lot of types of scanning. This would give you more key concept when it comes to the risk likelihood and impact, that formula that would define the whole this assessment on the risk that we just saw on that previous tool that we introduced to you by Risk Calculator. What would be the next step? The next step is analyze those results that you would get. Then step into creating a report. So prepare a risk assessment report, include all about the vulnerability name for each one, risk score. What was that risk score that came out from that calculator, likelihood, impact, and any recommendation. That means what kind of actions could be taken to mitigate this actual risk. Could be apply patch, update, improve authentication, or something like that. And at the end, you would summarize key findings.